The misunderstood threat. Captain Sarah Chen pressed her palm against the cool metal surface of the observation deck aboard the research vessel Horizon's Edge. The stars stretched endlessly before her, each one representing countless possibilities for discovery. At 34, she had already led more successful first contact missions than any other officer in the Human Exploration Corps. Her dark hair was pulled back in a practical ponytail, and her brown eyes held the steady confidence of someone who had faced the unknown and emerged victorious. The bridge hummed with quiet activity as her crew of 18 specialists worked at their stations. Dr. Marcus Rivera, the ship's xenobiologist, was reviewing atmospheric data from the planet they were approaching. Engineer Lisa Thompson monitored the ship's systems with the precision that had earned her 3 commendations. Communications Officer James Park kept constant watch on all frequencies, listening for any sign of intelligent life. Captain called Science Officer Elena Vasquez from her station near the main display. "We're receiving structured signals from the 4th planet. The patterns are definitely artificial." Sarah felt the familiar thrill of discovery. After 6 months of deep space exploration, they had finally found what they were looking for. "Put it on speakers, Elena." The bridge filled with a sound unlike anything they had heard before. It was musical but mechanical, like crystal chimes being struck in complex mathematical sequences. The sound had an otherworldly beauty that made everyone stop what they were doing to listen. "It's beautiful," whispered Navigator Tom Bradley, a young officer on his first exploration mission. His fascination with alien cultures had driven him to join the Corps straight out of the academy. Dr. Rivera looked up from his scanner, excitement clear in his voice. "The atmospheric composition is fascinating, Captain. High silicon content, very low oxygen, and almost no carbon dioxide. If there's life down there, it's unlike anything we've encountered." "Prepare a standard first contact package," Sarah ordered. "Mathematics, basic chemistry, peaceful symbols. Let's see if we can establish communication." Within hours, the alien signals changed. The musical tones became more complex, more purposeful. Elena worked frantically at her console, running the signals through every translation algorithm they had. "Captain, I think they're trying to send us mathematical sequences," she reported. "Prime numbers, geometric formulas, and something that looks like chemical equations." The breakthrough came when Dr. Rivera realized the aliens were sharing their own atmospheric composition. "They're telling us about their world, Captain. Silicon-based atmosphere, crystal formations, electrical conductivity through their environment." Sarah smiled with satisfaction. This was how first contact was supposed to work. Careful, scientific, peaceful. Send them our atmospheric data in return. Let's build trust through scientific exchange. The response came faster than expected. The alien signal suddenly became urgent, almost frantic. The beautiful crystal chimes turned harsh and discordant. Elena's face went pale as she worked to translate the incoming messages. "Captain, I'm getting warning signals. They're sending the same message over and over again." Elena's voice was tense with concern. "I think they're trying to tell us something is wrong." The main view screen flickered to life, showing the first visual contact with an alien species. The beings that appeared were unlike anything in human imagination. They looked like living sculptures made of dark blue crystal, their bodies composed of geometric shapes that caught and reflected light. Electrical energy danced across their surfaces, creating patterns that seemed to be a form of communication. The lead alien's voice came through the speakers, translated by their systems into mechanical-sounding English. "Dangerous beings from the poisonous ship. Your presence threatens all life in this system. You exhale the death gas that destroys worlds." Sarah felt her heart sink. Another first contact gone wrong because of misunderstanding. "Dr. Rivera, what are they talking about?" The xenobiologist was already running calculations on his console. "Captain, I think I know what's happening. To silicon-based life forms, carbon dioxide might be perceived as extremely toxic. We exhale it naturally, but to them, we're literally breathing out poison. Communications Officer Park looked up from his station with worry written across his face. Captain, I'm detecting massive energy signatures approaching our position. Multiple ships, all larger than ours. The lead Krellin, as Elena had started calling them based on their own designation, continued his dire pronouncement. I am Commander Zix-9 of the Krellin Defense Matrix. Your species spreads the death gas wherever you go. Sarah activated the communication channel, speaking slowly and clearly. Commander Zix-9, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the human vessel Horizon's Edge. There's been a serious misunderstanding. Carbon dioxide isn't deadly to humans. We produce it naturally through respiration. It's part of our life cycle. The Krellin commander's crystalline form pulsed with angry red energy. Lies and deception. We have analyzed your atmospheric data. Carbon dioxide creates acid rain on crystal worlds. It dissolves our cities and kills our young. Your very existence is an abomination to all silicon-based life. Dr. Rivera frantically worked at his console, trying to find a way to explain human biology to beings who had never encountered carbon-based life. Captain, they're not wrong about carbon dioxide being dangerous to them, but they don't understand that it's harmless to us. It's like they think water is deadly because it would short-circuit their electrical systems. The tactical display lit up with red warning signals as more Krellin ships entered the system. Chief Security Officer Maria Santos reported from her station. Captain, I count 37 enemy vessels approaching. They're surrounding us and cutting off our escape routes. Commander Zix-9's declaration echoed through the bridge with the finality of a death sentence. The Krellin Empire has decided. All carbon-breathing vermin must be eliminated from this galaxy sector. We have developed carbon dioxide bombs specifically designed to flood your colonies with concentrated doses of your own toxic waste gas. The irony was crushing. The aliens had created a weapon using the very gas that humans needed to maintain proper blood chemistry. Sarah tried one more time to reach through their misunderstanding. Commander, please listen. Carbon dioxide doesn't hurt humans the way you think it does. Your weapon won't work as intended. Silence. Poison breather. We have studied your biology through captured atmospheric samples. High concentrations of carbon dioxide cause respiratory distress and death in carbon-based organisms. Our bombs will create atmospheric concentrations of 40,000 parts per million. Your own medical data confirms this is lethal. Engineer Thompson looked up from her environmental controls with growing alarm. Captain, they're partially right. Extremely high concentrations of CO2 can be dangerous, but they don't understand human adaptation capabilities. The Krellin fleet began moving into attack formation. Each ship was a work of art, crystalline structures that seemed to grow rather than be built. They pulsed with internal energy that made them look alive despite being mechanical constructs. You have 72 of your time units to evacuate all carbon-based life from this sector. Commander Zix-9 announced. Any colonies remaining after this deadline will face our ultimate weapon. The carbon dioxide bombs will flood your settlements with concentrated death gas until every poison-breathing organism is eliminated. Sarah looked around at her crew. These were good people who had signed up for exploration and discovery, not war. Navigator Bradley was barely 23 years old. Dr. Rivera had a wife and daughter waiting for him back on Mars Colony. Communications Officer Park had dreams of becoming a diplomat to help different species understand each other. Options? Sarah asked her senior staff. Chief Santos shook her head grimly. We're outnumbered 37-1, Captain. Our research vessel has minimal weapons. We can't fight our way out. Could we outrun them? Asked Bradley hopefully. Engineer Thompson checked her displays. Not a chance. Their ships are faster, and they've already surrounded us. We're trapped. Dr. Rivera was still working frantically at his science station. Captain, I'm trying to model what their carbon dioxide bombs might actually do to human physiology. The results are unexpected. Unexpected how? Well, if they flood a human environment with pure CO2 at the concentrations they're talking about, it wouldn't kill us immediately. Instead, It might trigger some interesting adaptive responses. Human blood chemistry is remarkably flexible. Sarah felt a spark of hope. Are you saying their weapon might not work? I'm saying it might not work the way they expect it to. But Captain, we're in uncharted territory here. I can't predict what concentrated CO2 exposure would do to human populations over extended periods. The communication channel crackled back to life. Carbon-breathing vermin, your time begins now. Use these remaining hours to flee rather than fight. Our weapons will turn your own atmosphere against you. Your colonies will suffocate in the very gas you claim to need. As the transmission ended, Sarah made a decision that would change the course of human history. Send a priority message to Earth Defense Command and all human colonies in this sector. Warn them about the incoming attack, but also tell them about Dr. Rivera's theory. If these carbon dioxide bombs don't work as expected, we might have stumbled onto something important. What are your orders, Captain? Asked Chief Santos. Sarah looked out at the Krullan fleet preparing for what they believed would be genocide. We're going to find out exactly what happens when silicon-based aliens try to poison carbon-based humans with their own life-giving gas. Signal the fleet that we surrender and request to observe their weapon test. The bridge fell silent as everyone realized what the captain was suggesting. They were going to let the aliens attack human colonies with an untested bioweapon, hoping that their own biology would protect them. It was either the bravest or most foolish decision in human military history. Dr. Rivera, start monitoring all biological data from the colonies under attack. If your theory is right, we're about to witness human evolution in real time. Evolution under fire. 72 hours later, the first wave of Krullan carbon dioxide bombs fell like crystalline meteors toward New Geneva colony. The settlement housed 40,000 civilians, mostly scientists and terraforming specialists, who had volunteered to build humanity's furthest outpost from Earth. Colony Administrator David Walsh watched the enemy bombardment from his command center, knowing that evacuation had been impossible in the short time they'd been given. All personnel to emergency shelters, he announced over the colony-wide communication system. Seal all environmental systems and prepare for atmospheric contamination. The bombs struck with surprising gentleness, cracking open like giant sea pods and releasing massive clouds of pure carbon dioxide into the colony's carefully maintained atmosphere. The Krullan weapons were designed to create a slow, suffocating death as the gas displaced breathable air and poisoned human respiratory systems. But within the first hour, something extraordinary began to happen. Dr. Jennifer Wong, the colony's chief medical officer, was monitoring patients in the emergency shelter when she noticed the first anomalous readings. "This can't be right," she muttered, checking her instruments again. Blood oxygen levels are actually improving. Around her, the 43 people crowded into the shelter were experiencing something unprecedented. Instead of suffocation and death, they were feeling more alert and energetic than they had in months. Dr. Wong called out maintenance worker Paul Chen. "I feel incredible. Like I just had the best night's sleep of my life, but also like I drank 3 cups of coffee. What's happening to us?" Jennifer ran medical scans on volunteer test subjects, her instruments recording data that challenged everything she knew about human physiology. "Your cardiovascular efficiency has increased by 30%, she told Paul in amazement. "Your brain is processing oxygen more effectively than I've ever seen." Outside the shelter, atmospheric monitors showed carbon dioxide levels that should have been lethal to human life. Instead of a poisoned wasteland, New Geneva colony was experiencing an evolutionary breakthrough. Meanwhile, aboard the Krullan flagship, Commander 69 stared at his tactical displays in complete confusion. His crystalline form flickered with nervous energy as he waited for confirmation of human casualties. The carbon dioxide bombs had deployed perfectly, flooding the human colony with concentrated doses of what his species considered the most toxic gas in the universe. "Status report," he demanded from his science officer. "Commander, our sensors detect no decline in human life signs. In fact, biological activity appears to have increased significantly." The carbon-breathing organisms are moving around more actively than before the attack. Dr. Rivera, monitoring the situation from the horizon's edge, could barely contain his excitement as data streamed in from the colony. "Captain, you need to see this. The CO2 exposure is triggering enhanced cellular respiration. Human metabolism is adapting in real time." Sarah studied the incoming data with growing amazement. "Explain it to me in simple terms, doctor." "The concentrated carbon dioxide is forcing human blood chemistry to optimize itself. Our red blood cells are becoming more efficient at carrying both oxygen and CO2. It's like the entire human population of that colony just got a biological upgrade." On New Geneva, the transformations were becoming impossible to ignore. Construction worker Maria Santos discovered she could lift machinery that normally required a small crane. "I lifted a 2,000-pound fusion generator like it was a toolbox," she reported to the medical team. Agricultural specialist Tom Kim was working in the colony's food production dome when he noticed something miraculous happening to the crops. "The plants are growing at impossible speeds," he reported to Administrator Walsh. "The increased CO2 concentration is supercharging photosynthesis. We're going to have enough food to feed 100,000 people." But the most dramatic changes were happening to human cognitive abilities. Teacher Lisa Park found herself solving mathematical problems that had previously taken her hours to complete. "My students are learning faster than I can teach them," she told Dr. Wong. "It's like everyone's IQ just jumped by 50 points." The colony's communications array lit up with reports from other human settlements under attack. Every colony that had been hit by carbon dioxide bombs was reporting the same phenomenon: enhanced human performance across all metrics. Chief Engineer Robert Davis was monitoring the colony's power systems when he made a startling discovery. "Administrator Walsh, the CO2 isn't just helping the humans and plants. It's actually improving our technology efficiency. The atmospheric processors are running at 120% normal capacity." Back on the Krellin flagship, panic was starting to set in among the alien command staff. Science Officer Kixford delivered increasingly disturbing reports to Commander Zix-9. "Sir, long-range sensors indicate that human colonies are not only surviving the carbon dioxide bombardment, they appear to be thriving. Agricultural output has tripled, industrial production has doubled, and biological activity has increased across all human settlements." Commander Zix-9's crystalline body pulsed with confused energy patterns. "Impossible. Our weapons were designed based on carbon dioxide toxicity data. Increase the concentration. Deploy more bombs." The second wave of attacks brought even more dramatic results. New Geneva colony's atmospheric CO2 levels reached concentrations that should have been instantly fatal, yet the human population was experiencing what could only be described as a renaissance of human potential. Dr. Wong published her initial findings in a report that would reshape human understanding of their own biology. Extended exposure to elevated carbon dioxide concentrations appears to trigger dormant genetic adaptations in human physiology. Cardiovascular efficiency increases dramatically, neural processing speeds up significantly, and muscular performance enhances beyond normal human parameters. Artists in the colony were creating masterpieces in hours that would have previously taken weeks. Engineers were solving technical problems that had puzzled Earth's best minds for years. Athletes were breaking every performance record in the colony's database. Most remarkably, the enhanced humans were retaining their improvements even when they moved to areas with normal atmospheric composition. The changes appeared to be permanent. Colony Administrator Walsh sent a priority message to Earth Defense Command. "The Krellin attack has not weakened humanity. It has made us stronger. Every human exposed to their carbon dioxide weapons has experienced significant biological enhancement. We are no longer the same species we were 72 hours ago." The implications were staggering. Humanity had just experienced rapid evolutionary advancement, triggered by what their enemies intended as a weapon of mass destruction. The Krellins had accidentally given humans the tools they needed not just to survive, but to dominate the galaxy. Commander Zix-9 received the final scientific report from his stenobiology team with something approaching terror. "Sir, our analysis confirms that the carbon dioxide has permanently altered human biology. They have become faster, stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Our weapon has made them into a superior life form." The Krellin commander faced a nightmare scenario. His species had intended to eliminate a perceived threat to silicon-based life. Instead, they had created something far more dangerous: enhanced humans who now possessed the biological advantages to challenge Krellin dominance in the galaxy. "Withdraw the fleet," Commander Zix-9 ordered, his crystalline form flickering with defeat. "We must report to the Krellin High Council immediately. The carbon-breathing organisms have evolved beyond our ability to control them." As the alien fleet retreated, Captain Sarah Chen authorized the first test of enhanced human capabilities in space combat. Navigator Bradley, now operating with dramatically improved reflexes and cognitive processing, piloted the Horizon's Edge through maneuvers that would have been impossible for unenhanced humans. "Captain, I can process navigational data faster than our computers," Bradley reported with excitement. "I can see patterns in spacetime that our instruments can't even detect." Dr. Rivera was documenting everything, realizing that they were witnessing the next phase of human evolution happening in real time. "Captain, we need to establish protocols for integrating enhanced and unenhanced humans. The enhanced individuals are operating on a completely different level." Sarah nodded, understanding the magnitude of what had just occurred. "Send a message to Earth. Tell them that first contact with the Krellins didn't go as planned, but the results may be the best thing that ever happened to humanity. The age of enhanced humans had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same."